Victorian Chief Health Officer Brett Sutton has resorted to having a vaccine jab shirtless, exposing his tattooed arms, whilst wearing a mask in order to encourage us that he has a dad body that will make us take a vaccine that has already been told by the Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla is redundant because the spike protein has changed shape. Meanwhile, that doesn't matter in Australia. So I'm going to say this: do not make me take my shirt off, or my fellow partyman Clive Palmer take his shirt off, or Craig Kelly to take his shirt off in order to get this point across. At what point will interest rates need to hit before you realize that we could have done something about it before the election of May 21 in order to save all of our homes? The invisibility of the minor parties in the media, social media, on the streets, due to the sudden banning of campaign call flutes, suggests that the minor parties are chicken. Says me, United Party Australia candidate for Paterson. I am going to read you something right now that will prove that Clive Palmer is in fact Australia's economic messiah. With inflation now running above 5% in this country and climbing fast, Liberal and Labor are happily using the fund and flee campaign strategy we are used to seeing every 3 years to attract voters, but refusing to address the elephant in the room over $1 trillion in government debt. That equates to more than $35,000 for every Australian alive today. By promising this or that, Labor or Liberal, depending if it's money towards this or a stadium or whatever it's going to be, they're avoiding the big picture. They won't talk about COVID accountability, and they won't talk about its biggest side effect either, being inflation. If we don't pay down debt, inflation will rear its ugly head and bite hard. First, it was fuel costs. Now, grocery costs, and then the monster, consecutive and continuing interest rate rises. If you're currently paying $2,000 a month for your mortgage, will you be able to pay $3,000 a month for your mortgage? And will you be able to pay $4,000 a month for your mortgage and not be able to pay any more off the principal as you do it, it being purely interest payments? You cannot tell people to not work for 2 years, pay some of them to stay home, and when you open up again, slam them with rising costs of living and pretend it's not happening. The UAP has rebuilt itself from the ground up with a very strong field of candidates from all walks of life who have been unafraid to deal with the real issues and provide not only dialogue but innovative solutions that are caretaking, capitalising and cooperative. The 15% iron ore export licence will pay off the debt without punishing Australians, and the 3% rate cap for 5 years will underwrite the Australian dream as we prepare for a financial wallop. Both policies are legitimate and signal to the world that the UAP puts Australians first before even the banks and mining companies. What good is addressing a 1.5 degree increase in air temperatures, forcing millions to pay through the nose in carbon taxes if 50% of the population cannot afford shelter? We must prioritise our problems or we suffer. Either I am Chicken Little or Labor, Liberal and the media are chicken. And judging by their silence, it's proof that the establishment has run out of ideas, signalling the need to vote in new leadership in this election. As far as I'm concerned, Clive Palmer is Australia's economic messiah. Authorised by Jay Olborn for the United Australia Party, Merrimack.